about this. So let's talk about complementary angles. Complementary and supplementary angles are two things from middle school that you should know. Complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90, which means they add to make 90. So we're going to put one angle this way, and we're going to put one angle over here. I'm drawing two like little alligator mouse. What are two numbers that are not the same that add to make 90?
89, 46, and 47.
45.
Two different numbers.
89.
Let's do 89 and 1. 89 and 1 makes 90. Okay. If I add them, they make 90 degrees. The way to remember the word complementary, because the complementary is like a vocabulary word you're going to need to know, is if I take the C in complementary and I draw a line, so everybody draw a line on your C, it makes it a 9. The 0 next to it represents the 0. So this makes 90
You mean the O?
degrees.
You mean the O 90?
The O makes the 0. The 0 makes the O. Yeah. The next one is supplementary angles. Supplementaries have a sum of 180. So the key is we need one obtuse angle and we need one acute angle. So you said 60 and 120. So we'll make 60 the acute angle. We'll make 120 the obtuse angle. If I add them together in total, that makes 180. The way you should remember supplementary is the S, if you connect it, makes an 8. Boom. 180.
What do you read the O when you said that?
Obtuse. I don't know. If I say weird things, you guys are like, what is she talking about? But sometimes I'll just like say things really weird and like start singing things that way, like it like draws some your attention. You know, just like break out in song. Okay. The next one we're going to talk about is, and notice, aren't these like weird how we drew them separately? Like we never really see problems like this. Like this is awkward. Okay. So when they're separated, they are not adjacent. Adjacent angles share a common side. So this is typically the way you're going to see it in what we've done so far with angle addition. So we're going to draw one obtuse angle. We're going to add an array. So this is two separate angles stuck together. So they are called adjacent angles. The only reason why they're adjacent is because they share a common side. So this ray is the common side. Typically, all angles that we do in geometry are adjacent because they're always touching. We never have these oddballs that are just separately floating around, okay? Because like that's like middle school geometry that you would have talked about. Let's talk about a linear pair. Linear pair technically is two vocabulary words stuck together. It is adjacent and supplementary together. So if I think about this, they have to be supplementary. They have to add to make 180. They also have to be adjacent. So we're going to draw a straight line. And I'm going to draw one ray. I'm not going to go straight up like perpendicular. I want one to be obtuse and one to be acute. And I'll use the same numbers as before. I'll say this is 60 and this is 120. So they are still supplementary, but they are also adjacent. So a linear pair is a lot of the time we talk about linear pairs. Linear pairs are adjacent. They are also supplementary. The last one is vertical angles. Vertical angles are across from each other in an intersection. So we are going to have two lines that actually cross each other for this picture. Okay, so we have two lines that cross. The top and the bottom are both obtuse. The sides are both acute. So what we know about these is that they are congruent to each other. So vertical angles are like the top and the bottom, and technically both sides. They're congruent to each other. They're not all congruent, but angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. When something is congruent, it means that they are equal. So you would not make an algebra equation adding them together to equal something. If they're vertical angles, you put the equal sign in the middle between them because they're congruent to each other. So they're equal to each other. We would not add them to equal something. So we're gonna go to the bottom and we're just gonna pick the vocabulary words that match with the pictures. So for numero uno, down at the bottom. Vertical, beautiful. Vertical angles are congruent to each other. If I knew one was 60 degrees, the other one would also be 60 degrees. Number 2 has multiple corrects. It's adjacent. No. So people want to say linear pair and supplementary because the whole line would make 180. But you are doing the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2. Angle 1 and angle 2 do not add to make 180, so they cannot be a linear pair. They cannot be supplementary. They're not vertical because they're not across from each other. They're complementary because you have a square over here, so this side would also have to make 90 degrees. So you're looking at the relationship, not the whole picture. You're looking at the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2. So for number 3, angle 1 and angle 2 are what? They're not vertical. They're not complementary. They're supplementary. They add to make 180. They're a linear pair. So if they're a linear pair, what else are they besides supplementary? Adjacent. Because they share a common ray. They share a common side. The sides of an angle are technically rays. For number 4, this only has one adjacent. Does anybody know why I can't say they're complementary? Because it's not 90. We don't know it's 90. It might look 90, but it doesn't have the square, so we can't assume it's 90. It might be 89. It does look obtuse. If you actually like turn your paper, it looks slightly obtuse. So what about number 5? They are vertical and they are also complementary because angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. They're vertical. And then you also know that these two are equal to each other because this is 90. This is also 90 degrees. And because they're congruent, this would have to be 45 and 45, which means this is also 45. The last one, what type is 1 and 2? Vertical. And no. Supplementary. Because this is 90, this would also be 90. So what would have to be next to it? 90 and 90. So 1 and 2 combined do not make 90. Combined, they are supplementary. Because if you have 90 on one side and it's perfectly perpendicular, that means every single corner is 90 degrees. So we're going to do some math with this now. If it's vertical, they're congruent. They're equal to each other. If it's not vertical, you have to add to make 180 or 90. You have to figure out what you want to do. There's more than one way to do these problems, so keep that in mind. So, try 1, 2, and 3. Easy peasy.
This is hard. This is hard. What are you talking about?
Okay. 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 You guys are tripping. What's number 1? It's vertical. So what's X?
You said math.
It's 112.
90.
Well, the whole thing is 90. Oh, number 1 is not 90 and 90. It's 112.
We just find it missing.
Yeah, you're just finding X. Huh?
Bro, I know this 720. It's 70.
Oh, grab a calculator. It's what?
70.
Not 70.
22.
22.
I said that.
Because they need to add to make 90. Was it? 56, because how much did these make? Vertical angles are congruent. If 112 is up top, 112 automatically goes to the bottom. If this is 68, you have the 90-degree square. You're adding to make 90, so that's 22. This is a linear pair, so it's adding to make 180. So I subtract from 180, I get 56. Let's go to number 4. So 4 has more than 1.
Oh.
So hold on. Shh. Stop playing. Where can the 43 automatically go?
Why?
Y. So let's put that over there. It doesn't matter if you find X or Y or X or Z next. Does anybody know what to do to find either one of them? Add them to make what? 180. So if I cover this up, they're either equal, they're either adding to make 90, or they're adding to make 180. So if I cover this up, that is a straight line. If that piece is 43, what's the other piece?
I don't know.
Use the calculator.
137. Yeah, you got it.
Where else can 137 go? Okay, take a second look at number 5. Move 72 to where it can go. Just take a minute. There's a million ways you can think about this. You're trying to fill in the blanks. You're thinking a line cut in half, like a full line, is 180. You want to think about a full circle is 360. Somebody was doing that last class, but like that's like, I would just cut it in half. It's 180. So take a second, try to figure it out. It's not that bad.
Can you look at mine?
Sure, if you bring it over here.
It's 38. 38.
Harvard Scholar.
Just so good.
It's Harvard Scholar. I found that.
You bring your breakfast.
Okay, by the way, it's so wrong. And you don't actually feel like we're just figuring out.
See what?
It's very good. Now they come in, so they come in. You'll have to do this. Just saying.
Okay, where can 72 go? Y. Now, I think it's easier to find X first,
108.
which is 108. It's a straight line. 72 and 108 are a linear pair. They add to make 180. There's different ways to find Z. Who found Z? What did you do?
I added 73 and subtracted it from 90.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So because this side is 90, because you have a square, that means this side is 90.
Yeah.
So if you subtract 72 and 90, how much is left over? 18. You could do this a bunch of different ways. Somebody last class took the whole thing into a circle makes 360 and subtracted everything else, and you get 18. You could do that. If you want to do this piece is 180 also, you could add all of them to make 180. She just said she knew this was 108, so this piece had to be 108. So she subtracted 90 from 108 and got the missing piece. It doesn't matter. We're getting to the point in geometry that you could do it a million different ways, get the same answer. As long as your math is correct and the logic is correct, then you're fine.
Just gonna be waiting.
Huh?
I need to wait.
I know. That's the next step. So let's go to number, let's go to number, let's go to number 11. 11 says, if AB upside down capital T, what does that symbol mean? They're not congruent. They're perpendicular. How much is perpendicular? 90. Perpendicular is 90.
Yeah, yeah.
What that is telling me is that AB, this line, and CD have 90 on this side. They also together on this side have 90 degrees because you're splitting 180 technically equally into 2 parts. So it's actually an angle bisector. So then it says the measure, don't get confused with the M. M just means measure. The measure DCE is 7x plus 2. We're going to put that in our picture. The measure of ECB is x plus 8, so that's a skinny piece. I need to find the measure of this, so first I have to find x, so don't let that confuse you. We're gonna have to plug it back in. So there's two ways to solve this. We need an algebra 1 equation to solve for x. So what is something I could do? Yeah, so I could just look at this half and I can add them just like I did in the beginning of this week, add them and equal it to 90. Does anybody know the other equation technically you could do for this problem? You could add everything together. You could do 90 plus this, and then it would have to equal 180 because it's a straight line. The easier way would just be to use 90, but either way, you would get the same exact answer. So we're gonna add the little pieces. We're gonna equal it to 90. So combine my terms. You should probably copy it. Yeah, we're on number 11. Yeah, we gotta plug it back in. Gotta plug it back in. No, x is 10. That's not the answer. So you get 10. That's not the answer because you got to find the measure of DCE. So DCE is 7x plus 2. I'm plugging it back in. 7 times 10 plus 2 is 72 degrees.
72 degrees. I got it. Sorry. You got something else to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a genius. Let's go to the back. We're going to do 2 more and then I'll let you start working. So on the back, we're going to do number, we're going to do 13. Take a second, put your information in your picture. The pictures in geometry are there to help you. So take your information, put it in the picture. Well, that's why we're doing it together. Can I put x and y in the same algebra 1 equation? No, I can't. So pretend like y doesn't exist. Shh, be quiet. Pretend like y doesn't exist. Y doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to cover it. It's gone. Oh my God. So what should I do with the x's? Should I equal them to each other? Should I add to make 90? Should I add to make 180?
Add to make 180.
Add to make 180. One is acute, one is obtuse. They're a linear pair, so I'm going to add to make 180. So pretend like the y is not there. I cannot put x and y in the same equation. Once I find x, I can plug it in and then let it help me find y. So I'm going to do 5x minus 4 plus 7x minus 8 equals 180. So we're going to combine like terms just like we did on the front. We're going to solve for x. We're going to plug it in. And then there's like 4 different ways. -4, -8 make -12. I'm going to add 12 to both sides.
Oh, I lied to them.
What did you get for x? 16. So if I plug this back in, let's take a second. We're going to plug it back into both equations. So I add not all 3 because that's y. Okay. I have 7 times 16 minus 8. Somebody with a calculator, how much is 7 times 16 minus 8?
108. 104.
104. This one is 5 times 16 minus 4. How much is that? 76. So you can do this two different ways. Does anybody have an idea of what I could do next to find y?
No.
Where could I move a number?
76.
104 can go here. 76 can go across because they're vertical angles. So what should I do with 9y plus 5 and 104? Should I add them or should I equal them?
Well,
You equal them
Yeah.
because that angle is equal to 104. So I'm going to say 9y plus 5 equals 104. Because vertical angles are congruent. So if the top is 104, the bottom is 104. So what's y? Y is 11. It's not a quarter point, so don't stick it together like a quarter point, like two separate variables. We're gonna do one last problem and then you guys can start working on these. The last problem is the one I know you guys love the most, so I saved that one for last. I did number 16. Because there's no picture and it's just words. So 16 is on your next chapter test. So it says, well, something similar to this. It's not exactly the same. It says 16 says angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. So how much do they add to make? Good. So this is 180. The measure of angle 2 is 6 more than twice the measure of angle 1. Okay. Find the measure of angle 2. So it says measure 2 is 6 more than twice the measure of angle 1. What are we going to call angle 1? Nope. X, because we know nothing about it at all. So angle 1 is going to be X. So let's draw a picture. They got to add to make 180. I'll call this one angle 1. I'll call this one angle 2. What variable are we using for angle 1? X. So this is going to be X. It says measure 2 is 6 more than twice the measure of angle 1. Not 6x plus 2. Huh? Twice. Twice means 2x. So 2x plus 6, because it's 6 more, so that's the plus. Twice is multiplying. So I'm going to add them, and I'm going to equal it to how much? 180. So we're doing 2x plus 6 plus x, because don't forget about your other angle. That's what everybody does on chapter 2 test. Okay, chapter 2 test, everybody forgets to add this other x equals 180. But 2x and x makes 3x.
Allah.
I'll help you in a second. So x is how much? 58. So it says find the measure of angle 2. So angle 1 is technically 58 degrees. How much is angle 2? 2 times 58 plus 6. What? 122. So the actual answer is 122. You can cross out number 19 and 20.
Yeah,
And the front. Because it's 2 times 58 plus 6.
So
No, not today. It's due on Monday. So start on the front, start at number 6. It says they're vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent. So clearly you should already have the answer. Yes, what's up? Yes, bring me your phone.
If we're gonna do by ourselves now.
Yeah, this is the